right, everybody, welcome to another episode of The Blind View here on Rumble. Here is your host, Miss Rebecca Meadows.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you today? I'm your host, Rebecca S. Meadows. Thank you for joining us for another exciting episode of The Blind View. How is everybody tonight?
Well, good. We are a day later for our viewers, but I'm sure they figured that out. But all seems to be going well.
Good evening, everybody. Doing well, doing well. Hopefully the feeling is mutual and the situation is likewise.
Exactly. So I'm glad to hear all the team, all the crew ready to go, and then hope our viewers had enough anticipation, you had enough patience. But we finally on air. So
Here we are. Yeah.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, I apologize that we're a day late here. We had to cancel the show last night because I was up all night the night before at the ER with my boyfriend, and so I was very tired yesterday and not ready to do the show last night. So I apologize to everybody.
well, it's better later than never, right?
And
So,
he is doing better.
He is doing better now, yeah. The thing is, he hadn't slept in 4 nights, and he had been to the ER like once or twice already. And the first time he went to the ER, this doctor was a smart aleck to him and kind of ridiculed him for coming to the ER because he was having trouble breathing. And it made him feel unwelcome at the ER. So he came back home and he told me why he wasn't seen. And I was really upset. And then I sent him back later, and he just came back and he's like, "No, that doctor is there." So then when he came to, like, later on, when he woke me up again, I said, "Let's go. I'm going to the ER with you." And that's why I got up at like midnight Tuesday night and threw some clothes on and went to the ER. But we were there for like 7 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, and the ER, it's always such a long night there, but they were able to give him, I don't remember what the drug was that they gave him a shot of, but it really knocked him out. So like I was saying before we went live, he was able to sleep, and he was in a better frame of mind when we left, but still pretty tired. So when we got home, we just both laid down and went to sleep. And today he's back to normal more because he had a good night's sleep last night too. But he's starting to get agitated again about everything. He doesn't feel like he's getting the care from the VA that he needs. And it's very frustrating. I'm sure you guys understand about the frustration our vets are going through.
Unfortunately, it's something that happens a lot, and that is, it's very troubling to me that these people served our country and then don't often get the care that they're supposed to get. We could dive into that, but it's a fact that does happen in many places. In some places, I think are probably really good, but unfortunately, more often than not, we hear the terrible stories of what people go through.
I remember we were whether I think it was like NFB convention or something, and it was in Louisiana, and somebody cited we knew from our village. She goes, "Wow, did you guys see that guy outside in a wheelchair? Like he was not a part of the convention, but he was just because the hotel was in a common area, like people were just going by there. Anyway, so he like, did you see that guy in a wheelchair?" And he constructed that wheelchair all by himself. I was like, what do you mean? And because he was so frustrated with the VA that they weren't helping much. And then he had a huge, I can't remember, was it a sign or it was like a grade on his wheelchair that said "fuck VA."
Yeah, I've heard of people having similar things.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much, I've known Tim since last December, right? And so I've heard a lot of his complaints about the VA, and I've witnessed a lot of. I'm very frustrated with it, right?
Well, okay, but hold on, because during Donald Trump's first administration, I thought he was trying to revamp things a lot.
So listen. There is a phone number that veterans can call, and make a complaint, and they like give they can give the person that they're giving the notice to, they can give them like the name of the doctor or medical person or the name of the facility that they feel wronged them, didn't give them the proper treatment or attention. And these people, they take down all this information and they keep, I think they keep records of it. I don't think they so much go after the people, but I think they are keeping records of it. I think maybe President Trump is having them keep a log of it, right? And I think that because we just called back, like he just called back like yesterday or the day before, and they mentioned that they could see that he had called about 6 months ago.
Okay, so they are keeping the records.
Yeah, I think they are keeping records, and so that's really good because at least there'll be like a paper trail, and it makes me sad because I feel like a lot of our veterans aren't getting proper care.
No, unfortunately not, and I don't understand why that is, but
I think it affects more than just veterans, though. I mean, I'm gonna say something that'll probably make my elders in the audience chuckle. My in-laws are old people, and a lot of y'all old people complain. I don't know what this medication is supposed to do, but it ain't doing it. It ain't making a dent in whatever. I mean, I hear people all the time say, yeah, well, I don't know. They're just trying to, first they said use this, and then they said use that, and I don't know, but it ain't helping a dadgum bit.
Oh, there's a stuff that Tim introduced me to.
How dare you?
It's
not me. It's people that are going to these doctors that are saying it.
Hey guys, there's the stuff that Tim told me about that the VA uses for their soldiers and stuff. Lidocaine. It's called lidocaine, and it's supposed to work really good, right? But there's this stuff called Tiger Balm that Tim just introduced me to like 24 hours ago, and I've rubbed it on my neck a couple of times, and it really works. And I believe it has lidocaine in it. But you guys should check out the Tiger Balm if you guys have.
What is it supposed to do?
It's like for aches and pains, and you like rub it on your sore muscles, and it like penetrates into your skin and into your muscles, and I got to tell you, it really took my pain away. And I remember trying Icy Hot years ago because all my parents used Icy Hot. I wasn't impressed with the results of Icy Hot, and I also did that hemp fauna stuff, and I wasn't really impressed with that. But this Tiger Balm, I really am impressed with it. You guys should check it out.
Why'd you laugh, Brandon? Did I ask that question funny?
No. It's just like, it just hit me as funny. You're like, what exactly does it do? I mean, I'm just imagining, like us guys taking Midol. It's like, yeah, I don't think that would be so good for me. Is
that medicine available over the counter?
So Tim has a thing of Tiger Balm, and I believe he just ordered it from Amazon.
Oh,
I heard of it. Okay. I heard of it before. It has lidocaine in it.
It's really good stuff. I really like it.
Is this episode sponsored by Tiger Balm?
No. This episode is sponsored by Blue Butterfly Enterprises.
Oh, I thought you was gonna say this episode is sponsored by viewers like you.
Oh, I didn't say that. This episode is sponsored by viewers like you. Thank you for joining us.
Great. Well, I'm glad to know that things are a little better, and I'm glad to know things are a little better, and hopefully they to continue to trend in the right direction. And obviously, we're glad you're here.
Seriously, though, if people want to support the show, they can go up to our website, bluebutterflyenterprises.com, and buy some of our Becca's World memorabilia up there, or you could buy any of my 5 books, and my 5 books are available in Audible, Amazon Print on Demand, or on Kindle. And that's how you can support the show if you guys like what you're watching.
Exactly. So we have lots of different conversations. Every week we have different topics. So as you have noticed.
Email us at beccameadows76@gmail.com to suggest topics if you want, or to comment on a show or whatever, guys.
if you think I'm just so handsome and you want to tell me, please email that email address.
Yeah.
Becca will pass it on.
Becca will pass it on. Okay, please, Becca. If that happens, don't you forget now. Okay.
Yeah. So I should say that there was a viewer that sent me an email one time, and he wanted me to get a message to Stormy Normie. And I don't think any of you know who Stormy Normie is, but Norm, aka Stormy Normie, Norm Nilsson, he created the music for our show. It's original music written by Norm Nilsson, and he played it on his bass. And then during the quarantine, Norm had a stroke.
Oh.
And he's now living in a home in Massachusetts.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I call him from time to time to check in on him. And I tell him what we're doing here at BBE Entertainment. I tell him about what we're doing on The Blind View, and I tell him what Gino and I are doing as far as our movie and TV projects, you know. And of course, I tell him what book I'm writing at the time. And he seems like his spirits are high, but he is really struggling with his independence. You know what I mean? Like being able to walk and function and stuff like that. You know,
really do damage.
Yeah, and I don't think they're giving him regular like therapy every day. I think he's spending a lot of time in bed, you know, and that's just not good for a person after they've had a stroke. People need to get up and be moving around and getting their blood flowing through their body and start living again, you know.
Well, it's interesting, but there's just been a lot of studies that show how good for you exercise is, and I'll be the first to admit I don't exercise enough, but it is interesting because, I mean, you know, just taking a walk, you don't have to tire yourself out, you don't have to tucker yourself out, but just taking a walk outside, you know, can be a real healthy thing. So.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm a person, I'm not one of those people who would, exert myself so much, because it's harder to get started. You know, the more you work, and if you don't enjoy it, it's harder to, like, people start skipping their sessions. But if you do something that you truly enjoy, like walking, in my case, you know, it's easier to get going.
Well, I tell you what, I have a friend of mine, and she wanted to have a goal this year to run 2,026 miles by the year's end.
I think you mentioned
a mile a day.
Yeah,
no, not a mile a day. That's
it's more than a mile a day.
Yeah,
but she's made it halfway through, so she's made it to 1,013 miles thus far.
Good for her.
I'm like, oh my
and
goodness!
We're not even quite halfway through the year yet.
No, so she could take a break a couple of days, I think, and be okay.
Yeah.
But
is she running on the treadmill or what?
No, she goes out, runs the different trails around in the area, and
wow,
she's amazing. She's I don't know if I'd say inspiring. I don't think I'd give her that much credit. And yes, if she ever hears that, yes, I didn't say you was inspiring. I said you was amazing.
I think it's very inspirational. I think everybody should consider doing some exercise every day at least getting out and walking around the neighborhood a little bit.
Well, we was at a party one time, and she goes, "Yeah, today I slept in, so I didn't get to run as much as I wanted to." And I said, "Well, how much did you want to run?" She goes, "Yeah, I wanted to run 13 miles this Saturday, but I only ran 9. I was like, "Really? You only ran 9? Okay, that's like I took 9 steps today. Okay, I mean, really, 9 miles? That's incredible."
That's something I miss as a blind person. Just being able to go outside in the neighborhood and run. Yes, sure, you can walk with your cane, you can learn your routes, but you still cannot develop that speed. At least I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Go fast.
So when I lived in Missoula, I used to go to the YMCA, and up above the basketball court, they had a track, and it was a 2-lane track, and I could see the middle, like there was a black stripe down the center to divide the 2 lanes. You know what I mean? And I used to go there, and I'd run on the track with my cane, because it was pretty safe. And like there were every once in a while there'd be like 2 or 3 other people on various spots on the track. So when I'd come upon them, it was easy enough for me to go around them, or I usually went around them, and not so it wouldn't confuse things, me trying to see them, giving you.
Yeah, let's see. When I lived in Minnesota, I don't know about you guys, but I do like participating in some studies. Like when there's some call for studies, like they study something related to blindness or whatever. Like I always volunteer for those studies. But anyway, so there was one email I got, and I think University of Minnesota was doing the study, and I don't think it went through. I don't think they actually did something big, but the idea was so this lady brought this little bracelet thing and she put on my arm, and I was supposed to walk like for the study. I had to walk like on a sidewalk. Actually, we were, I think, track, like you just mentioned, Becca. So some kind of area where you can walk. And since blind people struggle walking straight, yeah, because you can't see.
Right.
And what it does is you walk and you start veering, it starts vibrating on your wrist.
Oh, that's interesting.
It was, yeah. So I mean,
do you remember what the device was called? That sounds really cool.
But I don't think it ever came out on the market because, or at least I'm not aware of it yet. It was like in 2018 or something. I thought the idea was cool.
That is a super neat idea. Yeah.
That is a really cool idea, and I'll tell you, I would be a blind person who'd be very interested in that because I cannot walk straight to save my life. I literally have to have a line painted on the floor to follow in order to walk straight. Because I'll try to walk straight and I'll veer off usually to the right. And not just walking, I also can't write straight unless I have a dark line that I can see on the paper to follow across. Because my signature starts level and then it starts going up to the right. And it looks really weird.
I was just
talking. I can tell you guys there actually are a number of projects. I've been looking into this too recently. Yeah. There are actually a number of projects, but most of them, like what you were describing, Anya, seems pretty cool because most of the projects that I know about, in one way or another, they are clearly recognizable as accessibility devices, which I'm kind of okay with. But I'm just like, for example, I don't know if you guys know, there's a robotic dog, and there's this other like wearable suit that goes like over your shoulders. So there are a number of things that people are still working on.
What I will say is I was talking to someone, going back to the exercise real quick. I was talking to somebody recently. I don't remember who it was, but they were saying that they don't like running much either. And I'm in that same camp. And I said, yeah, a lot of people say you get the runner's high. And they said, yeah, the only high I got is when I knew I could stop running and I didn't have to run anymore. And I went, yeah, that's about me too. So I'm not really into running myself.
Or brisk walking. I would say running takes a little bit more effort. But, like a lot of sighted people, what they do, they just put on headphones and they start walking fast or slow and enjoying fresh air outside, scenery. And that's something we really miss out on.
Well, I think we do, where I live now, or where I live now.
What happened to you? Hello?
Yeah, I don't know. He kind of faded out, huh?
I still hear my game.
There you go.
Oh, hi, Paul.
Well, that was weird. I don't know what happened. Well, we have a park here, and so sometimes we'll take a walk on that, but. We do miss out on scenery a lot. I went to Southern California a few months back and, you could hear the waves of the ocean and it's like, wow, these are moments where, I wish I could see it. But because I know a lot of people like to hang out by the ocean or a lot of people like to hang out by the lakes and we hear it and it sounds beautiful and it sounds peaceful and it sounds great. But what are we missing in terms of seeing? I never have. I don't know, but I'm sure it is a very beautiful thing.
Yes, waves are beautiful. You're right.
Yeah, and a lot of people who live on the coast, they love walking next. That's something I would love to do. Listen to the waves and get your exercise in. That would be beautiful.
Would you
live by the beach are lucky? I think.
Would you rather live by a beach or live on a lake?
I'd rather live by a beach. There's no either.
What was your second option, Paul?
Or by a lake.
I'd rather live by the ocean.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would not. I'd rather live by a lake.
I think I'd choose the lake too because you still get a different kind of nature. You just
I
it's
don't
just
like that
different
kind of
sounds.
nature. Ticks and all these
Right.
bugs and ugh, no.
Dude,
Well,
I'm
hang on a second.
originally from the land of 10,000 lakes, right? Give me an ocean.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, either one would be great to live by. And when any of us win the lottery and the other three of you share with the other three, then we'll have this discussion later on down the road. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like either one would be great. I don't know which one I'd
But
choose.
you know what though? The ocean on the West Coast is friggin' cold. Forget that, Jazz.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
I got an uncle that lives down in Florida, the Floridian Ocean. That's nice. Maybe like the Carolinian Ocean. That's nice. But man,
I'm fixing to go to the Southeast in a couple of weeks, so I won't be on a podcast in the next couple of weeks. But I'm very curious to know what the ocean feels like. Cause yeah, in the West Coast, the ocean. I mean, you can swim in it, but the water is a little cooler.
I've heard that Mazatlan is really cool.
the what is?
Mazatlan, and I think that's on the coast.
Oh, I don't know. I've never heard of that place.
It's
But I've
in
never-
Mexico.
Oh yeah, I've heard that it has to be pretty there. But
Ladies and gentlemen, please stay with us. We'll be right back. Hi, it's me, your favorite author, Rebecca S. Meadows, here with another message. You know, you can go up to Amazon and search Rebecca Meadows author to get your hands on each of my books. And each book is available in Kindle, digital download, Amazon print on demand, or on Audible. So enjoy, and please send me an email at beccameadows76@gmail.com and let me know what you thought of my book, okay? Oh, and please go up and write a review for me too. Thank you. Peace out.
yeah, I had a friend who recently went on a cruise to Mexico.
Who is?
A friend of mine recently went on a cruise to Mexico.
Oh, okay.
And she had a whale of a time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So I'm curious to know, or curious to kind of see, what that ocean like is in the Carolinas, because I sure don't know.
Well,
Are you
when
gonna
you
be
come back,
going there?
Paul, you give us full report.
I'm sorry, Becca?
What are you doing there, Paul?
Oh, well, I'd like to tell you it's super exciting and that I'm, meeting a girl and all that great stuff. And we're having
Well, you
kids.
could embellish.
But no. It's meeting a friend of mine there I haven't seen in many, many years. And that's where his home is now. And
Oh, okay.
so I thought I'd want to go check it out. So I won't be here on the 8th of July.
Okay.
So I know y'all will miss me, but just remember how great it'll be when I come back.
Where are you going to be on the 4th of July, America's 250th birthday?
Yes!
I will be on an airplane.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's not very exciting.
I want
Well-
to find a big celebration to go to on Independence Day this year. This is amazing. Isn't it, guys? Don't you think it's
Yeah, that should
amazing?
be cool. There'll be lots of fireworks and other things that we're missing out on, but
I will be flying to Raleigh that day. So
Man, what time do you get in?
like 3 in the afternoon.
Dude, you gotta at least have some American food, man, some barbecue or something, dude.
I think I haven't asked him if we can do that, but I think since I'm fixing to be in Raleigh, I think that's what will happen eventually. And then I am going to a racetrack near his town, so we will go see some short track racing later on that day. So that'll be hopefully real fun.
I just think it's worth celebrating, right? I mean, because nobody dared to do what we did as America until we did it, right? So I'm not saying we don't have our problems, but then what place in the world doesn't have their problems as well,
Yeah.
right? There is no perfect place in the world, and we have made it 250 years. I just think, I mean, look, I'm down for partying for any reason. Okay? and and especially that nationally important one, it's I just think it says something. We've made it over 2 centuries.
I think most of the country would agree with you, which is probably why the tickets were so cheap.
Wow, that's a good thought.
Well, you got to, spend your money on food and drinks and celebratory activities,
Well, if I do that, I may have to ask you for a loan. Okay. Okay. So just
Hey,
want to point out.
charge it to the
I think-
Amex American Express.
I think
Okay.
Tim and I are probably going to go to like Las Vegas for the 4th of July or something.
Ooh, now that'll be fun. That'll be
'Cause-
busy as heck, though.
Yeah, it's within easy driving distance, and they're bound to be doing some really awesome celebrating in Las Vegas. I
Oh,
think.
you will be entertained wherever you go in Vegas on the 4th.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
going to be all kinds of stuff there.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, you guys want to touch upon topics? I don't even know what Brandon was supposed to cover today. I saw Paul's email, but Brandon, did you have a topic too? Or?
Yeah. I'm gonna. My topic of discussion today will be the ways that I am and am not able to appreciate artistic works.
I saw that on the.
No, I didn't see
email.
that. Okay, well, who wants? I have a topic about home security. Paul has a topic about collections, right? Collecting
yeah.
stuff and
Collections.
no, not
What?
that kind of collections. No.
What?
Collecting.
What kind of collections? Oh my lord!
Yeah. Speaking of bills to pay, collections. Yeah.
That's what I thought of when I heard it.
You can
They
have
might-
that job. No thanks.
Well, they may be all going to collections. Who knows? But I would say, whoever wants to start. I guess, Brandon, you mentioned yours kind of first, so I guess if no one minds, I guess we can start with.
Yeah, Brendan.
Yeah. Go
Yeah, that's fine. Then I can tie it directly into I can segue from Las Vegas into mine because there is a relatively new feature there called the Sphere. That is in Las Vegas, and I know that's supposed to be quite a thing to
What is-
experience.
What is this here?
The Sphere is it's a structure that is like so it goes up almost like a dome, right? Except it's not totally dome shaped. It's spherical. It's shaped like a sphere. But a lot of people have decided to take up in residencies there and do shows there and everything. And
Oh, okay.
I know that's supposed to be it's supposed to be pretty visually captivating. I don't know how the auditory aspect of it is. And that's one thing that I'll point out. Like I like to go and see live action things done, especially at amphitheaters, because I think that has such a cool auditory presentation, and you get to see live action stuff. But the Sphere, I think is like really really professionally done. It's highly produced, but it's very professionally done. And but yeah, I mean. The way that I do appreciate art is both auditorily and kinesthetically.
Okay,
and
I have a question for you and anyone else here, but I'll ask you since this is your topic. Do you and your wife, do y'all go to a lot of different museums? And if so, which kinds do you tend to go to? Because I know museums, many of them are very, very, very visual, and so that does kind of make it a little difficult for us who can't
That
see
makes
the
it
visuals.
useless, pretty much.
Yeah. So we definitely have. We have been to some museums. I wouldn't say that we frequent them, but we have been to some. Just because, I do think it's cool to go places where they have collected actual authentic artifacts. Rather than just read about them, you can go. And I know sometimes when I ask, they will let me touch the items, and I always make sure to do it very very gently. Now I certainly can imagine that not every museum would do that because they can't. Like for example, even if you wash your hands immediately before, if you touch something like the paper upon which is written things like the Declaration of Independence.
Oh yeah.
Just because of the natural skin oils, it would interact badly with
And
that. So.
it would damage it.
Well, because
Yeah.
I went to this car museum years ago with one of my parents, and it sold, and it didn't sell, but in that museum there was a few items that I could touch. There was really old cars. There was a few items they'd let you kind of sit in. There was an old, I think, Oldsmobile, which was from the 50s, but it was mostly old cars made by a company that starts with an F and ends with an Ord, and they would not let me touch any of those at all.
Really?
So that was very disappointing. And there was some cars from like the 1920s, 19 teens or the earliest 20th century, and yeah, they kind of said no, we're not even allowed to, so we can't let you. And I was like, huh, that's really interesting.
They couldn't let you touch any of the vehicles that were made by the company that rhymes with Cord?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
But I am going to visit while I am in North Carolina a museum of a soda company that rhymes with Hepsi, and so we'll see what they let me. We'll see if they let me touch or explore anything there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and auditory. Like it's cool. I like the ones that where you can go on a guided tour and just like listen through a headset or something, so that you don't necessarily have to have like a tour guide, but some of them do have descriptions.
That's true. Yeah. I forgot about that when we went. Yeah, I forgot about that. Go ahead, Anya.
Oh no, I just wanted to say that I don't like, for me, art, just like Brandon said, it's either listening or touching, but and even touching, I gotta say, like, when you look at different graphs, like if somebody shows me a picture in Braille, I don't know, I'm so indifferent to that. Maybe because I didn't grow up with that, like a lot of blind folks in America. Like, you guys had different maps and graphs and all that. We had very little of that, and I don't appreciate any of that. I remember my earth science class here in college. I had to take earth science. Yes, oof, misery. But they had to, they put effort. They embossed lots of different graphs, different images that they were going to review in class, and they made them in Braille. For me, it was just a bunch of freaking lines and dots and all that. Like, I don't care for that.
You know what? I kind of understand what you're saying. I've been blind my whole life, and I do kind of get that. Like, people have made tactful stuff for me, and I'm like, okay, thank you so much, really appreciate it, but it does not excite me in any way, shape, or form. Exactly. It doesn't do anything for me.
Guys, within like the first year or so of me going blind at the age of 12, I don't remember where I was at, but I was somewhere and they had these. They were like coloring book pages, but they had managed to raise the lines of the image on the page. And my mom hands me this and she's like, feel this and tell me what this is a picture of. And I could not, no matter how many times I ran my fingers over the lines and stuff, I couldn't draw a picture in my head. It was like nonsense to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, same for me. But at least I had some vision before. I lost my vision when I was 3, so I barely have.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you guys, I'd only been blind for like a year or so I still remembered what stuff looked like, but I couldn't draw a picture in my head when I was tracing with my hand. Like, I mean, my tactile skills have gotten a lot better over the years, but I still don't think I could do that. I really struggled with that back then when I tried to do that. So
yeah, but are you guys interested though in like I critique TV series and film a lot though, and because like I am interested in like cinematography, right? And what I mean by that is like the way that they play with and utilize color and depth and hue and texture and exposure and do you guys understand those concepts? See, like I do.
I do too, because of working with Gino the last 5 years or whatever we've been working together. I've been learning a lot about like filmmaking, like making TV and movie shows,
So when you say that, Brandon, and you talk about texturally and that kind of thing, what exactly do you mean by that? Because when I think of movies, I think of sound. How good is the sound? How good is the sound in correlation to what they're actually doing in the video or in the movie? Does it match up with it? For example, I was watching this movie and these two guys got into a fight, and one guy was punching one person from the left in it, and he was punching him, and the other person was on the right of the screen, and the other guy, he was punching the person from the right to the left of the screen. Now, in a movie, you could have it all be mono, or in the case of that specific movie, you could hear the guy on the left side of the screen and you could hear the guy on the right side of the screen punching each other. And I thought that was very clever because not all movies or films would do that. So when you talk about texturally and different things, what exactly are you meaning when it comes to film?
Well, listen.
Oh, go ahead, Becca.
Oh, well, what I was thinking of, when it comes to making film, there are so many pieces that go into it. Like, there's this thing called color correction that Gino's talked to me about, right? And just other things, right, that come into the editing process after you actually shoot the film. You know what I mean? That's what I have found the most fascinating in this process is listening to Gino explain to me about different editing things he's doing. You know, I find that fascinating.
Well, what I mean though is I appreciate directors that use a lot of natural light and or natural shadow. Like I'm thinking now of the director Mike Flanagan. I like a lot of his stuff. He does a lot of like really wide, like panoramic shots. But I like that though because I imagine looking out a window, like a big, like a floor to ceiling window or a really wide, tall window, and that is how it would look. It would have that. I mean, I could look out the window up at the sky and down at the ground. I could do that from a window like that. Or like in the context of shadows, there is a movie that I watched recently called Brawl in Cell Block 99. And I really think that director did a good job to try to really make it look and sound a lot like what it would look and sound like in a prison, and so it was, very like drab, institutional gray, very rough and dirty surfaces, Is
that a movie on Netflix, or where can people find that movie?
That particular director, I don't know how well his movies do overall. I like them though, but I think I saw them on Tubi. Actually, I kind of really like Tubi. Tubi has some gems. TUBI. Tubi really has some gems.
Brandon, I've looked at the Tubi app and I find it like I try to swipe around on it. It just seems really inaccessible to me.
So I've used it on the Roku platform and on my phone, which I have a Galaxy phone.
Okay.
It's okay for me, but when did you try it last?
Oh, it's been several years, but I did it on the iOS platform. So
give it another shot because Tubi actually does have an accessibility statement, so I think they do care a little bit. But
I'll have to try it.
I do know what you're talking about though, because there's another platform that I like. I like their content, but they don't seem to care much about accessibility. Unfortunately, that one's called Shudder. I like your content, Shudder, but your interface isn't very accessible. So, dadgummit.
I haven't downloaded Shudder. I've downloaded Tubi and Peacock, and I tried to use Tubi, and since Tubi wasn't accessible, I never did open up the Peacock. But I think I've still got them both on my phone, or I can re-download them.
Well, this has been interesting.
Yeah, but that that basically sums up my topic. But I do appreciate art, but like kind of what you guys were saying, like I don't at all, because I cannot at all appreciate like the silent film era. But that's not to say that I can't analyze and even critique modern film. So it's like nobody should ever hesitate from inviting anybody that is blind, like, hey, you want to go catch a movie? Like, don't ever hesitate to do that.
Oh yeah, blind people enjoy movies.
I'm not really a movie guy, and I don't even think it has to do with blindness. They don't do much for me.
I'm with you.
I would rather do something like bowling or something like that where you can visit with people while you're hanging out.
Bowling I do like. I ain't no good at it.
Yeah, me neither, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I enjoy it too. You hang out with your friends, you hopefully get a strike, or you don't.
Hey, I'll take a spare. Spare's okay too.
hey man, you want to strike though before you want to spare.
I
Hey, you know what?
mean, sure,
Knocking
but
anything down is good.
That's true.
Like, I know some blind people use bumpers when they bowl, but I don't usually.
I don't.
no, I don't
No.
either.
And so
That's
I do get a lot
cheating.
of gutter balls. So
Yeah, I could get
Yeah.
it. But that's cheating too. I agree with Brandon.
Yeah.
That's cheating.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, who wants? Do you want to go next, Paul, or you
No,
want me to go?
why don't you go ahead? Actually, mine's not that exciting. So
No. Oh, well, I guess I'll do it after commercials.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, are you enjoying the show? Are you enjoying the books? Are you enjoying everything we're doing here at Blue Butterfly Enterprises? If so, go up to bluebutterflyenterprises.com and check out our store and buy some of our memorabilia. Wouldn't it be cool to have a Becca's World hat or t-shirt or coffee mug or bumper sticker for your car? I'm gonna get one for my car when I get a car that I can drive.
Okay.
All right, guys. So who's going next, Paul or Anya?
no, I believe Anya's going next.
Okay. Well, my topic is not very long, so I'm sure we'll fit
I'll
both.
be out in a little while.
So I wanted to talk to you guys about home security. So because right now we are looking for something to install and like some system. I don't want to have something too complicated. I just want to hear your opinions. Do you guys have anything at all? Because there's so many options on the market right now. Like you can put cameras that sometimes come in pairs, or you can buy 4 of them and put in every corner, or you can put like Simply Safe, which sounds alarm, like you turn on the alarm when you go to bed, and then it sounds alarm if somebody's breaking in. There's so many ways. The biggest catch that we've found so far, which is kind of annoying, because right now what's going on is Amazon Prime Day, which goes on for 4 days. So basically, like lots of different deals. Who has Amazon Prime? And we were looking at different options for cameras and stuff, and we thought we found what we liked. We added it to the cart, but then started looking more closely, and we found out that it does not have local storage. So basically, they give you 30 days free, and then you have to keep it in the cloud, and you have to pay for the subscription and blah, blah. No, I don't want to do that. So I just wanted to run this very quick and see what you guys know, what you have to say about all these home security systems. What do you consider the best?
Well, I know that we have a Roku video doorbell. And I think people are kind of sleeping on Roku a little bit, because I think that the field of view and the audio quality both are just as good as Ring cameras, if not better. However, now let me speak to something that you mentioned. I do pay for a yearly subscription. I just pay once a year, and it's like, what is it, like $130, $150, something like that for the year. And the reason I do that is because I don't actually have to do that, but here's the reason I do. I mean, trust me, it's really nice being able to go back in and review, because I can go back in and review up to 2 weeks worth of things that were captured. And if you just rely on local storage, like I'll give you a real life example. Our neighbor, because they see that we have a doorbell cam, asked us to help them try to track down, because they were supposed to have a package and they're worried about theft, but they know that we have a doorbell camera, and we did indeed see the person. But my point is, if we only relied on local storage, which we could do with the Roku system, but then a lot of photos or videos were captured, you might miss that because the local storage would get full, in which case it would just overwrite the oldest first. But yeah, I definitely think that field of view is important. That basically describes how, like, the vertical and the horizontal axis, because you don't want somebody to be able to like duck down low and then the camera would miss them or whatever,
Right.
So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, right. A lot of people do have the Ring cameras. I don't know, like as of this date, how Ring cameras compare with Roku, but we're very happy with Roku. You did mention Simply Safe too, and I've heard really good things about them, but I don't have a Simply Safe system.
So my son, you guys remember me telling you about the break-in at the house in Mesa?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So my older son John is still living in the house because he's working in Tempe, and he was concerned about his safety right after that, and he just got a Simply Safe.
What does he think of it? Does he like it?
Honestly, I haven't even had a chance to call him and ask him, but I will, so I can let you guys know next week.
So we have one here. We have ours with ADT, and we do. I don't remember what the initial installation was, but we do have to pay for it monthly. Now ours is you can arm your house if you are away, and you can arm it if you're here in the house and say it's nighttime and someone tries to break in. You can arm it there. So there's two modes of arming. So if you arm it and you're away, if someone should try to break in, if you
like
arm
a motion
stay,
detector, you mean?
yeah, it has a motion detector inside your house.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have those, I think, where if you arm stay the house, if you can motion in the house.
We can't hear you very well, Paul.
What about now?
Yeah, that seems better.
But if the motion is, if you set the arm away, it's interesting to the outside, then the alarm will go off. And when the alarm does go off, the police will be called. So we did ask, like, okay, well, what if you're bringing groceries in and you forget that your house is armed? What happens then? And they'll say, okay, so you have 30 seconds or so before we at ADT, I believe, will call you. And then if we don't, it's not a recognized number, or you don't get a hold of us, or we don't get a hold of you, then the cops will be called. So I do think ADT is a little bit more expensive than others, but for peace of mind, I do recommend, and I think other companies do the same thing, right? Than ADT. ADT is just a big name. But yeah, we use ADT, and I don't recall what it is. I want to say it's $50-$60 a month. So that is a little pricey, but unfortunately, I do think a lot of these security companies are doing very, very well because the highest crime right now is breaking and entering. And so I think really it's important. I don't care what company you use, but it's important to have something like this. And we have a camera on the front door. We have a camera on the garage door. We have a camera, believe it or not, in the kitchen, just in case someone should break in. Where's the first place they're probably going to be? Is going to be the kitchen. So we have a lot of cameras. I don't know if ours is local or if it's saved on a server, but we can go back and look. So say we see someone at the front door, we can go back and see who it was.
Or like if you hear like a dispute outside or something, you can go back to that if you would ever need. Do you know how long you guys can go back?
I don't recall. I want to say. Yeah, I don't recall what that is, and I don't know if we can watch it live back, with the exception, like I know we can watch it, like if there's someone that comes to our front door, we can watch that. You know what? I think we can watch it live back. But I don't know how long.
Because I remember one year there were these hoodlums and they set a trash can on fire and we caught them on video. So
holy smokes!
Wow.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we caught them on video carrying the gas can out there and everything. Yeah, but we weren't home at the time. But we got home and we saw, this burning trash. We're like, what in the heck? So we went back and reviewed our camera footage. It's like, we got you, sucker.
You guys called the cops and let the cops show the cops the video?
Well, we let our landlord know and they took it from there. So it's like, look, this is what happened. We got him on camera.
What happened to him?
Yeah.
Well, I think they did, end up prosecuting. I don't know. They didn't live here in the neighborhood, so it wasn't, but we got him on cameras though.
Yeah, it can be good and bad. I honestly don't want to be constantly under surveillance in my own house, but I also understand the benefits of, being able to look back, which is why I feel like I wish there was a way, local storage is cool, but I wish there was a way that I could buy, let's say, personal cloud or something with my own password or something and upload it there. So I don't have to so nobody, like the company, cannot get into my shit. You know what I
Hey.
mean? Like they don't. I wish there was a way to do it.
Hey guys, this talk of security systems reminds me of Nancy Guthrie's disappearance.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard anything new since she disappeared in February?
No, and I think it's shameful. I think, I don't know. There's something is fishy about the whole thing.
You know, we went online about a week or two ago, and because I told Tim, I said, let's see if we can find out what's going on with the Nancy Guthrie investigation. And so he entered her name and hit search or whatever, and it didn't pull up any news reports by reporters, but what it did pull up was, we watched this show, and I think it actually led into another episode or another similar show, and it was like, you know, those recreation shows that they have, where they there's like a voiceover and there's people talking on it, and they always make it sound really suspicious and stuff. They had stuff like that, and they were saying that the night Nancy disappeared, her son-in-law gave her a ride home from a family dinner that she had been invited to at her daughter's house. And, you know, and they're really, I mean, honestly, after watching it, I was thinking, I wonder if her son-in-law did her in, because here's what they said on the show. Like, her daughter had asked her to borrow a large amount of money recently, and she had refused. And then they invited Nancy over for dinner, and her son-in-law gave her a ride home after the dinner, and that's the night she disappeared.
Just be careful with a lot of that, because I was talking to someone recently about celebrity that I'm a fan of, an artist I'm a fan of, and there was, you know, you looked at the video and the video said something like, why this person got divorced, click here, and you're like, oh, why did they get divorced? And then you click on the video and it gives you just AI slop. So just be careful you ain't running into that, because there is so much misinformation out there. Not even misinformation, but blatant dishonesty out there. Yeah. There's so much of that, so just be careful.
Speculation told us that too. Yeah.
Like I said, it led into other shows and stuff too, and there were some really crazy accusations they were making towards the Guthrie family, and I thought, you know, this just, I mean, it went way beyond just her missing, right? They talked about finding secret rooms buried in the backyard or something crazy like that, and even finding dead bodies in her backyard, and I'm like, what? This doesn't sound right. So
and that stuff annoys me, because that's a real person who's really missing. And recently, I don't know if I mentioned this on the show, but someone that I followed in the racing world passed away, and there was a whole bunch of AI from what her wife supposedly said after the fact and what his colleagues said.
Are you talking about Greg Biffle?
No, I'm talking about a guy named Kyle Busch.
Oh, Kyle Busch. Yeah, I did see that he died.
Yeah, he passed away a few months ago, and there was all this AI stuff about, oh, Tony Stewart's fixing to pay for his funeral, and you'd click it and it was AI, or what did his wife say after he died, and I reported all of that, because you, as an AI creator, are a scumbag, because the guy's dead. His wife did not say any of those things. All you're trying to do is get clicks and people to watch. You are vomit. You are puke. You are disgusting. And so I reported all that. And I do that even with people I don't like. If I feel like it's still AI generated, I report it, because, you know, whether you're a fan of, you know, a political person, or whatever, if you can tell it's AI and that person didn't say what the AI is making it say, yeah, I report it. Now, does YouTube or Meta care about the reports you make? No, they don't care. All they care about is revenue and ads.
Because they don't pull that stuff down, I don't think, when it gets reported. So
most times, no.
But that makes me think of, you know, about, speaking of video and all that stuff, you know, crimes. If you prosecute crimes properly, for the last like 10 years or so, you know, it's become a lot harder to commit crimes. I mean, I was just watching the show about somebody in early 2000s, how they robbed a equivalent of Social Security office, like it would be in the United States, but it was in Russia. So this lady who worked in the office, and she was very responsible worker, like she had high position and she had keys, and then her boyfriend kind of talked her into robbing this place. And then, but my point is, right now with all these things, it would be so much harder to pull off everywhere you go. Even the bank, let's say you stole somebody's card and you want to withdraw from ATM somehow, right? Like they can even, they have cameras, so they can look up by the location of the ATM. Like they each have a number, and they have cameras that can capture your face, and not to mention car and all that stuff. I mean, I think becoming a criminal will become harder and harder.
I think so too, and that's why I'm so shocked that we haven't discovered more. I mean, there's stoplight cameras. There's people with security cameras. I mean, there's when you go out in public, there really is a much lower expectation of privacy now than ever before.
Yeah, but yeah, it might be harder to commit the crime. But then, how long do the prosecutors keep those people actually in jail?
Well, that's a whole different question.
If I know I'm fixing to get out in 2 months and I've committed that crime, I'm just going to go commit that crime again.
No, that's a whole different story. That's about how it's been prosecuted and stuff. The same thing, when the shooting happened a few months ago. When was it? Like in the winter or even in the fall in the university? There was like some Jews students
in Kansas.
No. Connecticut, I think. Oh. Yeah, somewhere on the East Coast. Yeah, it was a pretty famous case. That somebody ran into the class where they would take an exam. The students would take an exam. Don't you guys remember? Yeah. So that when the shooting happened, and the problem is that it took FBI so long to investigate. They did not check the cameras on time. They did not interview the witnesses properly. Like, it just boils down to the shitty work of the employees, but not the quality of investigators.
You mean the shitty work of the investigators?
Exactly. Yeah. So they were lazy and slow. Maybe they had some other reasons why they were not.
Yeah, that's called shoddy police work.
Right. So, but it doesn't take away from the fact that if they worked properly, they could easily catch the criminal, and they could catch a lot of other criminals too.
Well, it's not always easy to catch criminals, even when they do their job. But if they don't bother to try to do their job, they can miss a lot of obvious clues and a lot of, stuff like that. They really have to be dedicated to their cause of solving cases.
But you can literally follow I watch a lot of shows like this, mostly the Russian shows, but again, like they have lots of cameras too everywhere, obviously. But you can literally make a route. You can go the same route as a criminal. So you see somebody leaving the apartment complex, right? And then where they go, and then you can see where they appeared in the next camera, and next camera, and next camera. And no matter how they hide, but you can still use different tools. AI tools and other tools, and then you can easily find.
Did you know that there's a thing that criminals can use to disable all of those devices within a certain mile radius of where they're at, so that they can't be tracked or whatever?
It wouldn't surprise me. I haven't heard of that.
I believe
but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I believe it.
I mean, the devices they use just to break into cars. I mean, they're pretty nifty if you know how to do it. I don't. I'm not an expert in breaking into cars, but they're pretty nifty. And I mean, San Francisco is known as the break-in car capital of the world, I reckon. So that's where most break-ins happen, is San Francisco, from what I've recently heard. So,
but speaking of the cars, I don't want to start a whole new topic, but it's still kind of relevant. But do you guys know that these new cars they have this required something called switch, kill switch, something like that? So basically, it means that if you are riding in the car, driving a car, and the police has an ability to make you stop, like the car just block your car, it does not move.
Yeah, they've been saying that they would do that to cars at some point. So
I know and then freaking Republicans voted for that too. Like, I was like, what the hell is going on with you? I mean, it's for the police, but what if criminals get a hold of that key or that
and what if there's a corrupt police officer in a community and he uses that to enable himself to get away with committing crimes, and there's plenty of corrupt police officers out there.
Yeah, so you should be able to run, to drive yourself away. Yes, of course, criminals will do that too, but I mean, come on. You should. No, I think it was a bad idea.
Well, I just would encourage you, Anya, not only to look at Ring. Ring is only one company, and I think they do have viable competitors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people use Ring. Like I said, we use ADT, so and they're not sponsoring me to say that, but we haven't had any problems with them.
And I use Roku. They're not sponsoring me either, but I love you, Roku. You're awesome.
You know, guys, I used to be concerned about this, but now that I'm living in Payson, this is the smallest city I've lived in since I left home at the age of 19. So I feel really safe here.
Well, that's good. And it does depend. You know, if you live in a very tight-knit community, you know, you might be okay with not having one and you might be just fine. But I know where I live, in the part of the country that I live, many people have them. And I think those companies are doing just fine.
So does anybody know about if any of these systems are more accessible than others? You know what I mean? Because that's something that always concerns me when I set out to buy a new product is, am I going to actually be able to use this, or am I going to find it's inaccessible to me?
So ADT uses Google Nest.
Okay.
And that is partnered with the Home app. And at least on the Android side, that's pretty good. I admittedly don't know how to use all of the features because it hasn't interested me that much. So I don't know how to use all the features, but no, it's pretty accessible, at least on the Android side. I can't speak to the iOS devices. Oh, you know what? I can. Everyone seems to be able to use it just fine with their iOS devices around here, because I'm the only Android user, only blind Android user in my house. So no one seems to have any problems with that.
Yeah, but my question then is, okay, you guys pay for all these subscription services, and I don't understand, like, what is their role? Just to keep the cloud and be able to disperse those images, release those images, or like, what is their role exactly? What are you paying for? They'll call the police when they need to, but you could.
So mine could call the police, but I don't pay for that aspect of it. But no, you're right. Like, the reason why I do pay them is because if I would ever need to look back, I don't want to run the risk of my local storage getting full and then, dang it, you know.
Yeah, that's the only reason to pay, though? I don't know.
Well, I mean, you have your cameras, and so if you need to look back, I mean, it really is for peace of mind, and some people may need that more than others. I mean, if you live in a neighborhood that might be have a reputation for being interesting, you may need those.
I think he means more crime-ridden.
Right, but why can't you? Again, it's not just about camera, but why can't you create your own storage online and be?
Well, I'm sure you can. I just don't want to mess with all that. I don't want to do that.
I don't know how. If I'm being honest, so
I don't know how either, but I think one should be able to.
I mean, yeah, you could probably connect. See, and that's where, like Becca was mentioning, SimpliSafe. I think they would be very friendly to that idea. You could connect all your cameras to a server in your house, and yeah, I guarantee you can do it.
Oh, I'm sure you can, and it probably does depend on which company you go with, right? And
yeah, but SimpliSafe, what I like about SimpliSafe and Roku is that they're big on self-install. You can install it yourself. Like, you don't have to pay somebody to come out to install it.
Yeah, and let me tell you guys what is my experience when it comes to security systems has been that the simpler the system is to install and utilize, the better it's going to be and the less problems it's going to have.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but I'm not saying that Anya is wrong. I mean, Anya is wanting, sovereign control over it, which is fine. I guarantee you can do it, but it's going to require some more work. I mean,
and I don't mind having it as a cloud. God forbid my house got robbed or something, and I lost the server, like physical servers. There has to be somewhere in a cloud under password, like password protected, where I could go and get the images. Yeah.
And if you're going to use a service, or you have a service where it can say call the police or whatever, if you're paying for that, use the service.
Can I make a recommendation to anybody that chooses to get a security system? This is something that I learned with a previous security system. So when you have even a professional install your cameras, you need to double check yourself the view of those cameras, because when they installed our security system, I think it was in Missoula, or was it? No, it was in Mesa. And I think I talked about this on a previous show. During the quarantine, my sister's bike got stolen off the front porch, but we weren't worried because we had a security system with cameras, and the front porch was supposed to be the in the frame of one of the cameras, and it was supposed to record everything. Well, when we went to view it, they go, "Oh yeah, we'll find out who took it." We found out that when they installed that camera, they had installed it incorrectly, so it was like pointed off like Kitty Wampus and not at where it was supposed to be aimed at. So we didn't get the footage we should have been able to get. And it was because the people installed it incorrectly when they installed it, and we trusted that they had done it correctly. So if you're gonna invest in a security system, like I haven't got a security system in this house because, well, like I said, for one thing, I'm in Payson now where I think there's less crime, and that was my last house in Mesa where they did that to that security system. I was really frustrated with that, because as a blind person, how am I supposed to go through and make sure that the professionals have the cameras aiming the right way? It's their job.
Yeah.
Trust but verify.
So that's what I'm saying.
I second that.
Yeah, because I didn't verify, and when it came time when we needed the information just wasn't there.
Yeah, that's a lesson learned, right?
Yeah.
Well, sorry, Paul. We did not get to collection.
That's okay. We'll have a collection of things to talk about next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we will, I guess, be back then.
All right, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us again next week for another exciting episode of The Blind View. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for watching Becca's World. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel.